Hello, everybody, and welcome to Unscripted Access, episode number 87. You are here with your host, Nick McCandless. I am finally back. Sorry I haven't been in the past two episodes.
He
I
was
was
covered in
sick.
disease.
I was sick out of my mind. Literally, the first podcast of the two that I missed, it was so bad. Like walking with, I seriously like imagine like an 80-year-old getting hit by a car and then trying to walk after. That's like seriously how I felt. It was so painful. And my
Are,
apartment, I
are we
have
talking about a
stairs that go
normal
to
80
my
year old or someone like my grandfather who's like 75 and works out every day and it's really scary?
I have stairs that go to my bedroom in my apartment, and two of the nights I was like, yeah, those stairs are not gonna work with me tonight. So I just slept on my couch. It was that bad.
That reminds
Um,
me of when, like, you said that story reminds me of in high school, I ran track and we had this thing
Oh yeah,
called.
so for people who's played sports, like the best way to describe it is that day, like you go a whole summer without doing a single thing, and then you go to your first workout day, and that like the day after or 2 days after, you literally cannot move. Like imagine that times like a good 10. Like that's where I was at. It was so bad. And then my throat, like there was a day I went without eating a single thing because the pain was just so bad.
That's
But I
that's
had
like probably the worst thing you can do when you're sick,
Yeah, I
because your
know, but it
body
was just
needs fuel to.
yeah, it was the most painful thing. I had to force myself, and I was taking strong painkillers, and so this went on for about 2 weeks. Obviously, it got progressively better, but even last week at this time, it was terrible. Like talking for the past 2 weeks has just been it was so painful to talk that I just avoided talking to pretty much anyone. So thankfully, I have a job where I work at home, and outside of having a couple calls I was able to translate into just Skype messaging, it wasn't that difficult. So, yeah, but moving along, I'm about
And you've spread your disease to Anthony.
yeah,
So good job.
somehow it got to Anthony. It's crazy how technology works. It like telepathically got there. Um no, I think some spreading around, but
Yeah, no, because like a friend of mine, exact symptoms you're talking about, and she had to go to the ER yesterday. And like her mom got super pissed that she had to take her to the ER, which I found to be sad and funny.
yeah, it's
Uh,
pretty bad. It's pretty bad what's going around. So,
no, but
um
like I want to tell that track story real quick. Like I used to live in a house to where my room was down in the basement. Um, and like we refurbished the basement so it had a bar and all this other rad shit. And I decided, okay, I'm gonna move my bedroom down here. And we go in at Reno High and track every year. Every member of the track team has to do this thing called the Iron Man.
oh yeah, I
And
know what the Iron Man is.
no, our Iron Man is a little different. It's you have to do every event at least once uh, over the over the course of a day. And like and then after that you do what is known as the 4x4x4, which it's a 4x4, so four people running the 400, but now it's the 4x4x4, so it's four people running the 400 four times.
Well, no, like the true Iron Man's crazy. Like the
Oh yeah, no, the true Iron Man can go fuck itself.
yeah,
That's
it's like
that's
you swim like what, like 2 miles, you run like 20 miles, and then you ride a bike for like 100 some
yeah.
miles,
So
some crazy like
but
that.
like you have to do every event once, which you don't think that's that much until you do every single track and field event at least once. So long jump, high jump, 100, 200, 400, 800, 1600, shot, disc, so on and so forth. And and at the time, my room was in a basement, and after track practice, my friend Ben and I we normally go hang out at my place, play rock band and stuff, and we get to the stairs and we just look down, and we're just like, oh no, and we like the entire way down we are in pain, and then we're like after like 10 minutes of like playing rock band, we're like, I'm kind of thirsty, me too. Look at the stairs, nope. Nuh-uh. Not worth it. Because at the time, the mini fridge was in the garage instead of downstairs. So it was like, and the garage was connected to the basement halfway up the stairs. Even going halfway up the stairs, nope, not worth it. Nope. After the Iron Man, the 4x4x4, fuck that.
Yeah, moving along from that, like I said, I'm about 95% healed. I still have a little bit of a cough, so if you hear me cough every now and then, I'm sorry, guys. I'll try to mute myself before I cough, but
I think amongst like the people I know in Reno, I was Reno's patient zero for this, because in like late March, when I got my tax return, literally same day, and bought my Xbox, I had this really sore throat and like head cold. I had that for like 2 weeks. So I'm starting to think I was like Reno's patient zero.
Yeah, it's been going around. My girlfriend got it. Now, obviously, she got it from me, but it's a lot of people have been getting it. So
Spreading that mono. Mm-mm-mm.
yeah. So so moving along. Like I said,
They call it the kissing disease.
Sorry if I cough here and there, but moving along to the game news. What you guys are listening for?
I wanted to tell stories about mono, but okay.
Yeah, we'll keep it. Not now. So
actually, I remember one guy on our football team had to miss a week of practice because of mono, and our coaches, his first day back to practice, like, so who were you kissing? Yeah, like that's because our coaches like to give us crap. We had really funny coaches. They are really young guys, like they're all in their early 30s.
Yeah, so, mono's pretty bad. But
yeah, I've never had mono. Oddly enough, like like I've had pneumonia. Like, you ever had pneumonia or bronchitis? Oh my fucking god!
I've had bronchitis to where I had to have an inhaler. It was bad.
Like, I didn't know I had pneumonia either. I was just really sick for a week, and then my mom like insisted I go to the hospital, and they X-ray my chest, and I had fucking pneumonia. And I'm like, oh well, shit, you know. And then, like, I had to take a week off from school, which, fine, I guess, whatever. I was in 5th grade at the time, so I was just kind of stoked that oh, cool, another week of sitting at home playing video games. Rad.
Yeah. But moving along to video game news. Sledgehammer Games, who is developing the Call of Duty that will be releasing this year, which, just a quick recap, if you guys don't remember, Activision has went into a 3-year development cycle. They're still releasing a Call of Duty every year, though, because they have 3 development studios. They have Sledgehammer Games, Treyarch, and Infinity Ward, all working on Call of Duty. So we will have a Call of Duty every year, but every Call of Duty that's released has 3 years of work behind it.
It's like Christmas.
Yeah, Call of Duty is everyone's favorite game.
You would think that about like I told you about that person I was talking to on the bus the other day. You know, she asked what I do, and I'm like, oh yeah, I do political surveys and I also write for this site. And it's like, oh cool, like every fucking time you talk to somebody who's more casual with it, they're like, oh, you mean like Call of Duty? And I'm like, yeah, like Call of Duty. Like just like fuck me, like just. Oh god! And the fucked up part is, like, I've reviewed all of them either on a podcast or in an actual review. Like, I'm sick. I keep playing them. I don't even like them. You know, like
it's a disease. Call of Duty is its own disease.
It's fucking exactly like it's its own fucking nightmare.
Can't get away from it.
Like, and the thing is like now I know which ones I like and don't like. Like, I used to really hate the Treyarch ones, but I thought Black Ops 2 was fucking awesome. So that made me really, kind of change my opinion on that. So this is how I was. I loved Call of Duty 1 and 2, and then 3 was terrible. It was made by Treyarch. And then 4 was awesome. So it used to be like, oh, Infinity Ward's good, Treyarch's bad. And this continued to prove true with Modern Warfare 2 being awesome, but World at War and Black Ops both being terrible. The only good part of World at War was all bad, and the only good part about Black Ops was the Vietnam levels, which I still say that Treyarch should make Call of Duty Vietnam. Like, every time, like, I can still play those Black Ops 1 Vietnam levels and be like, fuck yes, you guys nailed this. Why don't you make a Vietnam game? Anyway, going back. Then I played Modern Warfare 3, and it was terrible. It was the worst one yet. And then I played Black Ops 2.
I think Call of Duty 3 was the worst.
Okay,
World at War was pretty bad, too.
Okay, excluding 3, I actually prefer World at War 2. Alright, so it's the second one, it's the second worst to me, at least, besides 3. And oh god, and it was just fucking horrible. And then, like, they announced Black Ops 2, and I'm like, oh, great. Fucking more Call of Duty. And they show the E3 trailer, and, like, shit's in the future, and I'm like, okay, this might not be the worst thing ever made. And I play the full version, and I really liked Black Ops 2. I nearly hit level cap, which I never do in Call of Duty games, and I just played a lot of Black Ops 2. I played Ghosts last year, and I didn't really care for Ghosts. I
like the campaign of Ghosts.
I played like 3 levels of it, and I was like, oh, you guys made a Call of Duty game. Sweet, bro. And then I played the multiplayer, and like, everything that I enjoyed about Black Ops 2, they decided to go, oh man, you like all that cool future stuff we had? Well, fuck you. You know, like, that is basically what happened there. It's like, oh man, you like all that really cool future shit that game had? Well, fuck you. Like, because that stuff had a lot of cool future shit in it. Like, you know, like, they decided, okay, well, you're gonna have, like, we're gonna have all these weird weapons, and like, it just had a lot of interesting stuff. And I've always been a fan of more sci-fi shooters to modern military. Like, the most boring setting imaginable to me is modern military. Which is why when shooters, like, shooters kind of that shift, right? Like, it was like Halo was number 1 in consoles, Unreal was number 1 in PC, and all the shooters were sci-fi, and I was perfectly content with this. I had no problems with it. But then, like, it switched to modern military, and then just I didn't get why people liked it. And I still don't. I'm like, why? It's boring. It's so boring. Like the guns are real, but I don't care that they're real. And, like, in the future, you can make fucking awesomer guns. Like, I don't get who this is for. You know, so, like, I'm playing Titanfall right now, and I'm like, yeah, this is basically Call of Duty in the future, and it's 1,000 times more entertaining. Because I never prestiged in a Call of Duty game. Never. I've played them all, but I've never prestiged. I might get to my second prestige in Titanfall. You know, like, that's, you know, it's amazing what a fucking setting change can do for a game, for a style of game. Like, it is fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. Ugh. But, you guys may be asking, why are you guys talking about Call of Duty? Well, during Game Developers Conference...
Because Activision paid me a shit ton of money to talk about it, so...
Oh, yeah, we got... Pretty much, we don't have to work the rest of this year because Activision sent us both a big check saying, hey, talk about Call of Duty. We both got about a good 150 grand just
don't need to do those political surveys anymore.
Yeah, so thanks Activision. No, but pretty much.
Yeah, little they know, I was gonna talk shit about it the entire time.
So Sledgehammer Games has shown off the first image related to. Doesn't have a name. Just called Call of Duty 2014. They've showed off the first image.
How great would that be if that was the title? Call of Duty 2014. They just admit it. They just say fuck it. And just like, yeah, it's just like fucking sports games now. Just Call of Duty 2014.
But they showed an image showing in-game character models. This image, they claim, is not CG, but is what the gameplay will look like. Now, the image is of a military guy's face. And the details...
A Native American military guy's face.
Yeah, it's so realistic that I'm calling bullshit right now.
I'm calling that it may look like that as a single character model in their engine, but when they have to add effects and shit going on, no way. Like, it may look like that when it's by itself, and all alone. But as for like when you actually put it in the game, no way. Like maybe
Yeah,
on the
it
PC version,
looks.
maybe.
It just looks. It looks too good. Now, Call of Duty Ghosts surprised me. It actually looked pretty good, even
The
though
next
that
gen
game.
versions of that game looked really good. My friend Quinn, you met him at PAX, fucking was super pissed at the PC version because they did not optimize it for his video card. Because he's like me, where he games on gaming laptops largely. Because he has an excuse. He's in the military and travels all the time. And he's just was just like, fuck them. Like, really? You're not gonna optimize for this card? Like, okay, fuck you. They finally fixed it, but yeah, I don't know. Ghost I thought looked pretty good. I did not like Ghost. Like I said, I was not a fan of Ghost
Well,
as a
yeah,
whole.
I played like a round or two of multiplayer, and I was like, yeah, I hate Call of Duty, and
I
I
I
gave the game
rented
to
it
my
hoping
sister, who now
like
owns the PlayStation 4.
like
She got one for Christmas, so I was like, yeah, take Call of Duty Ghosts with you, because she loves Call of Duty, so I let her take it. But it looked
I
really
know
good.
so that
But
the
I mean,
like
I definitely think that the Call of Duty we see this year is going to look a lot better than Ghost, just based off the fact that one, going to this 3 year development cycle, they've had a lot more time to fine tune and really see what they can do with the next generation consoles. So I definitely think the next Call of Duty will look a lot better than Ghosts. Don't get me
I don't
wrong.
know. I'm not sure because like they have to make it for the older platforms, and that's a game where like Madden, like it's gonna be 2020, and we're gonna see finally the last version of Call of Duty on last gen consoles. Um, because I mean
No,
the
honestly, as far as releasing, I think honestly, if I had to take a guess, I think this is going to be the last year that we see not Madden. I mean, Madden will be releasing on the previous consoles for a while. They always do that. But I honestly think that this is the last year we're going to see Call of Duty on the PS3 and 360. I just think that, I mean, we have the PlayStation 4 that's 7 million
I
consoles. The Xbox One, I believe, is at a little over 5 million. So you look at this through this holiday season, so let's say early next year, those numbers are going to probably be near doubled. And then following the next holiday season, when the next Call of Duty comes out, you're probably talking about maybe having close to 30 million next generation consoles out there. And with Call of Duty's high attach rate, you're talking about probably a third, if not more, of those people buying Call of Duty. So that's 10 million copies bought, which I think they're going to do. Um,
I don't know. I think these consoles are gonna stick around a little longer, just because the PS3 and 360 still have not hit the sub $200 market yet. And that's a big market, believe it or not. Like when we hit 200, well, like when we do sales for $200 or less at GameStop for those systems, they would be gone in a day. So I feel like you gotta remember, there's a whole market out there that these consoles have not hit called broke ass motherfuckers. All right, and or cheap ass motherfuckers too, and they want to play that Call of Duty. And way to be I said Call of Duty, and my Xbox starts up the party system.
that's
Awesome.
funny. No,
Xbox
but
on
honestly,
Snap.
I honestly do think that this is going to be the last Call of Duty because they're going to have Sony and Microsoft pushing, like, hey, we're trying to get these. And that's the thing, even companies like Activision, ultimately, they want everyone to get to the new consoles as well because that's less development cost. They don't have to worry about having the games running well on the previous console. So everyone wants to get these new consoles going. And it's just like the PlayStation 4, they can't keep on store shelves. They have 7 million units. So sold. So
Uh,
imagine when the PlayStation 4 is to the point, which potentially the summer will be to where you can just walk in the store and buy one. I
if
mean,
my
you're
local
talking by.
Walmart is any indication, you can't get fucking either of those things. Like I do my grocery shopping over at Walmart because it's the closest small store that isn't ghetto as fuck Smart and Final. And yeah, that's the name of the grocery store by my house. It's called Smart and Final.
Oh yeah, we have those over here.
Yeah, they're ghetto as shit, aren't they? Have you
Yeah,
been in
they
one?
are.
Yeah, and like they say they're the cheapest in town. For most stuff, they're not. I basically go there to buy milk because that is what is cheapest. And also, usually when I buy milk, it's like that's the only thing I have to pick up, so they're close. Anyway, like I'll go to Walmart quite frequently, and I've been repairing my car recently, so I've had to buy a lot of oil and car shit, which is right on the way. Which video games are right on the way to that stuff. So you know, I've been. I'll go and pass there to see, you know, kind of get a general consensus of what people buy and what's gone and what's not. And every fucking time, Xbox Ones, especially the Titanfall bundle, and PS4s are fucking gone. Also, oddly enough, Zelda Wii U's. The other Wii U's stay in stock fine, but the Zelda ones, those things go. So yeah, that's that.
I just think that we're gonna get to that point where there's gonna be, because pretty much all of the I'm gonna say this, by holiday season 2015, which like I said will be Call of Duty 2015. I don't think it's gonna be released on PS3 and 360 just because I think easily by then. I mean, we have there's about 12 million consoles sold right now. By the end of this year, I think it's safe to say we'll have 20 million consoles sold. And by that time, I mean, there'll easily be at the very least, possibly more, 30 million Xbox Ones and PlayStation 4s. I really think that holiday season 2015, we're not going to see Call of Duty on PS3 and 360.
I think that'll be the last one. I think very similar to FIFA and Madden, it's going to have a longer life on those systems. And I think that'll be the last one. And I think if they do continue past that, it'll be on PS3 and not Xbox 360. Because Microsoft's pretty much already dropped support for 360.
Just like they did the Xbox. I mean, Xbox 360 came out and you couldn't even buy an Xbox anymore. They're like, get rid of this.
Like the only reason that they're not doing that to 360 is because 360 was such a massive success.
Yeah.
But first off, the last PS2 game finally came out this year. I'm not kidding when I say that. The last PS2 game finally came out this year. So we hope. Because Konami has not said if they are making soccer next year for it or not. But as we know, the last PS2 game came out this year, 2014, 14 years later.
That's funny.
So I don't know, man. Like, it's really weird. The end of these, right now we're in the transition period, and there's a lot of really weird and oddly good shit that can come out during that period. Like, I remember like the PS2 was out when Majora's Mask came out for the N64, and like Persona 4 came out in December 2008. Like there's like, I mean, Persona 5 is coming out early next year. Like, first off, PS3 is going to be around a lot longer because Sony actually like supports their legacy platforms, but. Yeah, and also they gotta support PlayStation Plus, so I think that potentially PS3 especially, they're gonna have long legs.
I mean, the PlayStation 3, literally, you can get a PlayStation 3, and as long as you have PlayStation Plus, you don't really need to buy any games, just because of how many quality games they're constantly releasing.
Like, if you like what they put on there, yeah, no
doubt.
I
know, as far as Europe, it was announced that they're having Puppeteer as a free PS3 game next month.
And that game's great! Puppeteer's
whether
rad.
They do that for America, we'll have to wait and see, but,
I know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I just, oddly enough...
Like, you constantly look, and there's, like, BioShock Infinite was on there, Tomb Raider's on there.
What else? Like, Borderlands 2 was on there.
Yeah, it's like...
So, oddly enough, like, no one talked about this game last year, really, when it came out, but it's a really good co-op game. It's Payday 2. Like, everyone's talking about, like, oh, Grand Theft Auto Bank Heist Online. And that patch is finally coming, everyone. Finally. But you could have been doing bank heists and fucking Payday for the past year. That game was awesome last year. I think it's definitely gonna be a runner for our best game we forgot about last year award. Um, yeah, like I don't know that like these legacy systems, man. They're like this time especially, it's gonna be really hard to do the switch over because we've built these digital libraries that don't carry over yet, and then like your friends list. Like I've already had the problem of my friends list being split between Xbox 360 and Xbox One. Like half of them are on the new platform, half of them aren't. And then the really crappy part for me is I've already chosen PS3 or PS4 as my primary platform. I hope most people follow suit, but it's not guaranteed. And then you're gonna have like,
I think people will. Like honestly, like with how things are going, if you have both a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, outside of your friends being elsewhere, I honestly don't see why you would buy any multiplats on Xbox One. Just from the standpoint of pretty much all the multi-platform games are running better on the PlayStation
I will
4.
give you Brittany's two reasons and why she's getting an Xbox One first.
Well, obviously, like I'm saying, if you own just an Xbox One, obviously.
Well,
What
yeah,
I'm
but
saying
like,
is you're like Bronson, you're like you or I. We have both the PlayStation 4. We both have the Xbox One. Unless your friends or majority of your friends are on the Xbox One, there's no benefit to buying them on the Xbox One just from the standpoint of you look at half of the multi-platform games that have come out on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and half of them run better and look better on the PlayStation 4. And it's funny because at E3 last year, Jack Trent said, he was like, ask the developers, look at our games compared to the competing console. Games look better and run better on the PlayStation 4. And when he said that, I was just kind of like, okay, yeah, he's saying that because it's Sony, but it's true. Call of Duty, okay? Call of Duty, the game that Microsoft pretends that they own, runs and looks a lot better on the PlayStation 4 than the Xbox One. A lot better. So it's like that kind of tells you something right there. And then you have all these developers coming out saying, hey, yeah, we're able to push this on the PlayStation 4, but not on the Xbox One. And even if we can, it's really hard and we really have to work at it. So it's like, while there might only be minor differences, if you have both consoles, why are you going to buy the Xbox One version unless your friends are elsewhere? I mean, look at Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. Like, that game looks a lot better on the PlayStation 4. You know Phantom Pain's going to be the exact same situation because it's the same engine. So Tomb Raider Definitive Edition runs better on the PlayStation 4. I mean, there hasn't been, at least that I know of, and correct me if I'm wrong, to date, there has not been a single multi-platform game that runs better on the Xbox One than the PlayStation 4.
No, and so here's my thing though is there are gonna be exceptions to the rule. Like we know Brittany's gonna end up with both because she's a hardcore gamer like that. But I know she's gonna buy all her multiplats on that fucking system
because of the achievements.
Because of fucking achievements.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's the other thing. If you're an achievement whore and don't really like trophies, sure. But like, see, for me, I don't care about achievements or trophies. I don't care. So, I mean, let me ask you, Bronson, because I mean, I've heard from some people they like the trophy system better because of the whole RPG element. Some people like achievements better because I guess they like points better. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts as far as achievements and trophies? Which system do you like better? And would that ever be a selling factor to you?
Yeah. Okay. So if I had to pick one over the other, like if I could only have one, it would be a selling factor. And I like trophies more. And here's why I like trophies more is because it's really hard. It's a lot harder. Like first off, it shows how much skill. Like it shows that you have more skill. Like because when you look at achievements, you're like, oh, he has a bigger score. It's just bigger. He must play more games or be better at games. Versus trophies, like you can go look at my friend, my profile. Then you go look at my friend Brandon's profile. Like, oh, those guys are only like 23% off from each other, 30% off. They're not that different. But then you like notice that like, oh, so and so has more platinums, so he actually 100% games versus this one dude who just plays a lot. So I like the depth of the system. I actually kind of like the sound a little more. The shing versus the whole bloop bloop
Yeah.
noise. So there's that.
I definitely think we're going to see the achievement system renovated
I'll say
this generation for sure.
I'll
I
say
definitely
this.
think within the next year or two. I wouldn't be
Uh,
surprised if we see some at E3. I think
one thing I,
Microsoft, I
one
mean,
thing
the
I
achievement
do
system really hasn't been innovated at all in a while. So I
what
really think that
hold on.
Microsoft's gonna come out with something
One thing I
completely different to
do
redefine achievements.
One thing I do like about achievements on Xbox One that you do not have on PS4 with trophies is the achievements now track for you. So like when I go into my Titanfall achievements, it's like, okay, you are 98% of the way to winning 50 attrition matches.
That is cool, yeah.
Like I would murder for that on fucking Vita and PS4. Because like there are several games on both those platforms where I am in the middle of playing games where you have to collect shit, and I have no idea how much left I have to collect, or like even close, like just So
Yeah, especially for those trophies, like I think was it Resistance 3 where you had to get like 10,000 kills online multiplayer. It's like things like that you can track through the online system. You can kind of see here's how many kills I have. But yeah, there's a lot of statistics that you can't really see. So I think that would be something nice to have, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see an update
I'm actually
that
really
adds that to the
glad.
PlayStation 4.
So I'm actually glad Nintendo doesn't have an achievement or trophy system because I would die if they did. Because like there are certain Nintendo games I love. Like I love Mario 3D World. In my opinion, it was the second best game of last year, and they actually got second in our awards behind the best game of last year, The Last of Us. And Donkey Kong Country has been my favorite game of the year so far, even over Infamous. And those games, if I had to 100% them, I would cry. Because, like, dude, Donkey Kong Country was hard as hell. Like, that game was so. Like, everyone's like, oh, Donkey Kong, it must be easy for children, right? Fuck no! That game requires you to master its mechanics. And it does not do the Mario, like, you know how the newer Marios on, like, the 3DS and the Wii U, the 2D ones at least, are like, oh, you suck. Okay, we'll show you how to do it and do it for you.
Yeah.
And just kind of put an asterisk on that level. No, this game is very much like, you can't do it? Well, fuck you. Get better, bitch. Like, that's, like, I remember, and that's actually kind of what I liked about Donkey Kong Country. We did 60-minute access of it, and I love that game. It's so good. Like, it kind of reminds me of why I got into video games in the first place. Like, it's mechanically deep and a lot of fun. And every level is different, and in each level you have to master this new mechanic, and if you don't master it, you're not going to beat the level. And it's, oh god, like, if you have a Wii U, go play fucking Donkey Kong. If you don't have a Wii U, go buy one for it. So
Yeah,
fucking
honestly,
good.
the only way I think I could see achievements or trophies really interesting me, which there's one of two ways. There's two ways that they could do it. One is they could have a way of turning achievement points and trophies into real money to buy real things, which I don't think we're gonna see.
Even if it's just small shit, like, I mean, Microsoft has actually already kind of started to do this, where you win stuff for your avatar. That's fine. Like, if it's
well,
cool
yeah, and
shit.
that's what I'm saying. Like, honestly, and I know a lot of people are gonna be like, no, I don't want to see that. I honestly want to see, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they do this because they're still to this day releasing updates for it. I really want to see Sony take another chance at PlayStation Home because PlayStation Home is something that has so much potential, and I really think that if they executed it right, PlayStation Home could really be something that takes off. I mean, they're still updating PlayStation Home for the PlayStation 3 to this day. And that's why that tells me, hey, they have employees that are dedicated to PlayStation Home, which tells me
Well, no,
that
that's
they are
just
not
Sony.
ignoring the
That's just
fact of
Sony
bringing
continuing a tradition of having to be committed to terrible ideas like PlayStation
Well,
Home.
but here's the thing. there's been leaked screenshots here and there of where homes accidentally appeared on the PlayStation 4 UI and like media events and stuff like that. I really think we are going to see PlayStation Home come to PlayStation 4. Do I
Oh
think it's
man,
gonna?
I
Do I
cannot
think it's
wait
gonna?
for that part
Do
of
I think it's
E3.
going to come this year? If it comes this year, maybe end of this year or early next year. But it's just PlayStation Home had so much potential, and it was really cool having like the game-based spaces and them being themed. Like the Resident Evil home space was awesome. Seeing that stuff was just really
I
cool.
I
So I think
remember.
that if they were to introduce PlayStation Home in the way that big problem on the PlayStation 3 is every single space you had to load it up. So if they were able to streamline it, which they should be able to with advanced technology and the new power of the PlayStation 4, make it look a lot better, integrate it better with the games, find a way to integrate trophies where instead of, hey, I'm having to pay money for this mansion or whatever, it's like, yeah, your trophies are worth a certain amount, and you can use your trophies to buy houses and buy maybe a car, like having PlayStation Home where you can like drive cars and like actual travel, and it's like a full expanded thing. Like it's a whole, obviously not the violence and like the whole like drug and sex based thing of Grand Theft Auto, but kind of follow that model where it's truly this open world place, and you can like view these new spaces for these new games that come out,
I,
and like
so
I really think it could be something huge if it was done right.
I agree, but like they're probably not gonna do it right though. Like the amount of money and time that would take would just be fucking
But I could
ridiculous.
honestly see it being a really good return on investment because
Oh,
the thing is, this is the thing. So PlayStation Home, whether you like it or not, PlayStation Home is unbelievably monetizable. People call PlayStation Home a failure. I'd be willing to bet that Sony may have broke even or maybe even broke a profit with PlayStation Home just based on the fact of how monetizable that is. Because believe it or not, hate
I
it or not, go into PlayStation Home right now. I guarantee you're still gonna find a lot of people in there.
I
There's advertisements displayed all
I
throughout
no
home.
I want to say
These game based spots are great marketing for these games. I
so.
really think that it's something that if Sony did it right, it could be huge.
So here's my thing with PlayStation Home. I remember my first experience with PlayStation Home. Like I heard the beta was out this day, so I took the day off because I wanted to see what it was all about. And I got into Home after servers crashing for what felt like fucking eternity. And I get in, and I was like, oh, go to the theater and watch a movie. I thought, oh, maybe they'll have an actual movie or something cool here. Nope. They play a Paramore video, which, okay, Paramore's fine. They're an alright band. They're not great, but they're not horrible. And then they show me a Twilight trailer. Okay, not a good first impression, Home. Really not.
Yeah, the theater was kind of bad. I think what would be good for the theater, which they started doing, was like community-based content, where you could like have your content promoted through PlayStation Home. I think that was good because I think there's just so many things that they could do with it, and it's like PlayStation Home was slowly getting better and better and better and better. Like you look at PlayStation Home, and it's like initial beta phases, and you look at it now, and it's come a long way. It really has, and it is a service that most people are going to use on a regular basis. No, but it's just like I really think I mean, Sony's done so much right this generation. They've the PlayStation Network is pretty much on
Not
par with Xbox
bad.
Live. PlayStation Network's pretty much on par with Xbox Live,
Oh,
and PlayStation Network is much younger than Xbox Live. So Sony's advanced their network extensively. Their their support for indie developers and what they're doing with the developers and publishers and making their console easy to develop for. Sony's overall message, the pricing, like Sony is really listening to the gamers. I feel like as far as ever since I got involved with gaming, the PlayStation 4 has been it's been amazing just from the standpoint of I've never seen a company listen to the community and bring it to life as well as the PlayStation 4 has done. Like literally all the complaints that came out of the PlayStation 3 have been resolved with the PlayStation 4. Not only from the consumer standpoint, but from the developers and publishers. I mean, they've made it, like I said, $400 day one, very accessible to people. Except
I
for the
mean,
point that it's hard to get one. Developers, it's easy to develop for. It's the user interface is incredible. The downloads are a hell of a lot faster.
the
I
only
just
thing,
really
like,
think that if Sony were to just spend some time and money and resources in the PlayStation Home has that potential, if done correctly, to be a selling factor. It just needs to be done right.
I don't know. I'm just I never really I thought the idea could be cool, but after like seeing Second Life in action and playing enough MMOs and just seeing it as a whole, I've got to the point where I'm just like just don't care enough. Um, yeah. So I don't know. What's our next news topic?
So the next news topic is MPD numbers have come out, and despite Titanfall, which sold
Was the
well,
best-selling game of the month?
yeah, was the best-selling game of the month, with Infamous behind it. The Xbox One still did not sell as many consoles as the PlayStation 4. Now let's talk about this for a second. So a lot of people are gonna be like, "Well, the PlayStation 4 is $400. The Xbox One's $500." Well, let's talk about this for a second because Titanfall was supposed to be the game that turned Xbox One around. This was a game that we don't know the exact deal, but Microsoft probably paid an arm and a leg to have Titanfall. A lot of money. Now, there's a lot of rumors that maybe EA made a deal with Microsoft where they're like, yeah, we're not going to make Mass Effect exclusive with Xbox anymore, but we'll give you another game, and that game turned out to be Titanfall. And then that game was supposed to be released on 360, but then they said, hey, let's release it on Xbox One. We don't know the full details, but what we do know is Microsoft put a lot of faith in the Titanfall, and it didn't fail. It's doing well, but the fact that the PlayStation 4 is still, now yes, Infamous Second Son did come out, and Infamous Second Son sold very well, so I'm sure that played a role. The point is that you could go out and get a Titanfall Xbox One bundle anywhere from $499, which alone's a good deal. A lot of places had it on sale for $449. So you're talking about having the Xbox One with the Kinect with Titanfall for just $50 more than the PlayStation 4. So you can't get the PlayStation 4 in a game for $450, let alone with the camera. So as far as pricing really isn't a matter of discussion here because if you buy a PlayStation 4, you got to buy a game. So you're talking about $400 for the console, then $60 for a game.
That
Then puts
you
you
want to play
above the
online,
$450
you gotta
price
throw
that
another
you
50 on
get.
top of that, and then you throw, let's say you actually want the camera, and if you can find one, good luck.
Right.
That's another 70.
So it's just the price thing really isn't a matter of discussion here because you may be like, well, people are talking about the initial price, and yes, I understand that. But the fact is, if you're buying a PlayStation 4, you're buying a game. Games are $60. That's $460, whereas you pay $450, you get Xbox One and Titanfall and the Kinect. So with that said, I don't think the matter of price is even a matter of discussion. It's the fact that Sony has the better reputation right now. The PlayStation 4 is known as
I think a lot of that was I know people who still think Microsoft, oh yeah, that camera's watching you and the fucking, and, all this weird shit. I think that a lot of people don't know that Microsoft went back on that stuff, so that initial first impression is kicking them in the balls. And look, I don't deny that Titanfall is a big game. I don't. It's a huge game. And it's a great game. I've played a ton of it. But I also don't think it carries the same weight as Halo or Call of Duty or Grand Theft Auto
or Gears of War.
And, so those two things combined kind of brought it down. And then I don't think people factor in the cost. They just look at the initial cost of system. And also, Sony's reputation right now is a little better, and so that's kind of what led to that. But
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. Um, am I shocked? I want to say I'm shocked. I'm a little bit surprised, but not shocked per se. What I'm curious is if Infamous Second Son came out, let's say, this month, or came out the month prior to March. I wonder if the same situation, if it would have been the same situation, like
well,
with Infamous.
that game was supposed to be a launch
Well, yeah, it's
title,
supposed to be a launch title,
and then it was
but
supposed to come out in January, and then it got delayed again.
I just
So
wonder if Infamous, co- what console volume was sold for Infamous, because I know of a couple people personally who were waiting to buy a PlayStation 4 for Infamous. So, but I don't think that number was as high as the number of people waiting to buy an Xbox One for Titanfall. So, I don't know.
So yeah, I can definitely see that. I don't know. It's interesting. I think the Xbox One could look if Xbox One wants to rebound. One, they need to get their message across that like motherfucker, you can play used games. Motherfucker, you can all that shit didn't happen. All that bad shit didn't happen. They need to clarify that, and then they need to go and cut the price for it by $100. Like that's at the end of the day, that's what's stopping this. Like that $100 matters, and you can scream fucking connect from the highest fucking hilltop all you want. And I care about Connect because of live streaming, and I've seen its feature set with the Xbox One. But until you see that stuff in person, you won't care about it.
Yeah, that's why I just think that with Xbox One, they're better off releasing $400 without the Connect.
I think they have to keep it with it though, because like when you actually see it in person, it's actually really fucking impressive. Like that's the problem.
Yeah, it is impressive, but honestly, I have an Xbox One and I don't use the Kinect. Like my Kinect went out, it just stopped working, which I tweeted about. It's like I haven't touched the thing since I opened it, and it just my Xbox One stopped recognizing it, and I troubleshooted it every single way possible. Unplugged it, restarted my console, power cycled my console, did everything. Thankfully, I have a contact in Microsoft, so I emailed him about it, and he got me in contact with Microsoft's headquarters. So they're sending me a new one, which I'm supposed to get tomorrow, and then I'll be shipping this one back. But it's like, honestly, I don't miss it at all. It's like, yes, the Xbox One interface is terrible without it, but I still find myself not even using it. I don't even bother. It's like, if well, I mean, without my Connect, like, yes, I'm having my Connect replaced because of the fact that I paid
Live
$500
streaming
for the
eventually.
console. And yeah, I included the Connect, so I want it to be working. And for live streaming, it'll be great. But outside of that, like, outside of, like, live streaming, I don't care. Like, I don't use
Well,
my Connect.
okay, so here's my thing though. Like the interface is so shit that I use it all the time. Like I know I was like Anthony and I were fucking around with it when we were doing video when we were first setting up video for it, and just being like not having to like if it's not in your like main area, it's just a giant enormous pain in the ass to get to anything. Just anything. If it's not in that like home screen or in your pins, like you are fucked. You
Which,
know?
honestly, this is why I think that Microsoft, what they're probably going to do, you can quote me on this, I think that they're going to release an update later this year. They may talk about during E3, I don't know. They're going to release an update later this year that makes the user interface better if you don't use the Kinect. And I think they're going to release an Xbox One without the Kinect this holiday season. I just think they will.
I don't know, but but Anthony and I were working on shit. We're just like Xbox, go to settings, boom, there. But that's like I don't have to dig through 7 menus. It just fucking goes. And that
Yeah, but on PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 4, you can do the same thing, and they have an intuitive user interface.
yeah. Well,
Which
I'm
is
just
actually kind of funny because Microsoft's a software company and Sony's the hardware company.
yeah, but like
So,
Sony's
yeah,
voice recognition is not nearly as good. It's like like it's not nearly as good. Another example was I will listen to podcasts while playing games, especially games that don't have a story like Titanfall, and just like put on the Bombcast. No, Xbox, go to Internet Explorer, Bing, giant bomb, boom, there, goes back to my game. Like that's it's stuff like that. It's the cable box thing. That's another one. Like it's a small feature, but it's really convenient to like Xbox. Go to ESPN. You don't even like, especially if you're like Anthony, where like I'll go to Anthony's house and like we'll watch TV, and he has no idea what channels are because he doesn't watch a lot of TV, and I don't have the same cable provider he has, so it's like, well, shit, what channel is that? You hook up
Yeah.
the Xbox One, it knows. It just goes to it. Like it's a lot of minor shit that makes the Connect worthwhile. Like over
Right, and
time.
I can understand it being worthwhile, but it's not worthwhile to everyone, which is why I honestly think we're going to see Microsoft. I mean, come on now, you're talking about the same company that released the 360 without a hard drive. If anything, a hard drive, removing a hard drive from a console was absolutely asinine. It's
Yeah.
completely ridiculous. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised when we see them come out with the Xbox One without a Kinect, and they might even go as far as to say that, hey, here's the Xbox One, which they may not do this because they've probably invested a lot of money into it. But who knows? Maybe in another year or two, they have a $350 console that doesn't include a Kinect, and it doesn't have the HDMI input, so it doesn't have the ability to do the whole cable thing. I don't think we're going to see that. But I definitely think it's plausible to see an Xbox One without the
It
Kinect.
it's really really surprising me how many people I know who have Xbox Ones who it is now their primary cable box. It's so weird to me. Like I didn't think that would be as huge as it is, but then I got to see it, and I don't have a cable box in my room, so I don't get to use it. But I got to use it at my friend Alex's house, and like I'll go into my friends list, and here it is, just Alex watching TV, Nate watching television. Honestly, I really wish you could tell me what they were watching though. That would be funny. Like, just you
Blah blah
create
blah is watching Playboy.
the blah 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 is watching the Hustler channel.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
pretty sure that's like something that's like not legal, which is probably why Microsoft doesn't have it implemented. Because I highly doubt the cable companies would be okay with people being able to, with it exposing what people are
I
watching.
mean,
That's
they
like
do
a
it on
breach of like
Netflix.
privacy.
Like motherfuckers know what I'm watching on Netflix all the time, or they know what my mom's watching
Yeah,
because
but I still think that's different though.
that is slightly less creeper. That's slightly more
Yeah.
socially acceptable.
Like, could you imagine like going on your friends list and like finding out one of your friends like bought pay-per-view porn? Like how like how funny
Is
that'd
the
be?
sad part? I wouldn't be surprised.
No,
Like, is that the
what
sad
I'd be
part?
surprised is who pays for porn nowadays.
Well, maybe they just wanted really high end porn. Like, who knows?
They wanted the full 3D version
They
on the
wanted it
3D
in
TV.
full 3D 1080p. They wanted some high quality smut.
They wanted to
Uh,
look like the action was going on right there.
yep. God, I remember when Blu-ray and HD DVD were having their little like struggle, and one of the highlights of HD DVD is like they allowed pornography on it, and at the time Blu-ray didn't. So there you go, fun little fact for all y'all. Back in 2007, 2008, you could not get pornography on Blu-ray. Oh. Did I ever tell you about the time my coworkers brought me into a sex store?
No.
Okay, so story time. Uh,
Just make it
it was back
quick.
when I was working at AT&T. We were a really tight knit group, especially my training class, because we were like the fucking like the higher ups loved us. It's like we are still labeled as like the best training class they've ever had, and they so and we'd always go out on Friday nights, right after we got paid. So someone's brilliant idea. Let's go to Susie's. Do you know what Susie's is?
No.
It's a chain of sex shops in Northern California, Northern Nevada, and like just fucking here I am with a group of coworkers looking at all these pornos and fucking sex toys. Uh, oh, it gets better. Oh, trust me, the story gets much better. As we're walking out of this incredibly awkward moment, I see a bunch of people I know from high school walking into the store.
That's funny.
So it's like, oh, hey, person I haven't talked to since graduation.
Nice to
Uh,
see you again.
Nice to see you again. Oh, yeah, no, not buying anything, just looking around. You? Like just yeah, it was funny. It's just like, oh yeah, people from high school. Here are my coworkers. What's yep. Porn. Um,
That's funny. It's just like when I went to PAX Prime, we were in Seattle with a couple people. We went to a sex shop out there, and one of the guys bought one of the gas masks. It was pretty funny.
okay, well, yeah, all right.
There's
That's
some sex shops have some interesting items. I'll say that.
yeah. One of my coworkers nearly bought like one of those like giant toys that you get it on with. That was that was weird. And what was even weirder was like how it's so weird how casual the people are who work there about it.
Oh yeah,
They're
it's like a
so
normal
casual.
thing.
They're like, oh yeah, no problem. I'll carry it out to your car. If you want, I can put it in a black bag. It's like, well, fucking thank you for being so like yeah, to work there you can't judge. Like that's the like to work there you cannot judge at all.
Oh no, you can't. I'm sure they see like the craziest things.
It's just like yeah, like you have to be as kinky as they come to work there. Uh, oh.
I mean, could you imagine like the type of questions they get asked too?
They
Like
they must they must know a lot about them.
which dildo's the best?
It's like what like what is the most that the human body can withstand when it comes to blank? Like just had you.
From your experience, which product do you recommend?
That would be a funny fucking one to ask, like right, like just like oh yeah, what would you say is the best?
There we go. That's a new show for the Gamer Access. Just go in and interview random sex shops.
We can make this happen. I'm not. If you guys want to see it that badly, we can make this happen. Next time we do a trip, I mean, like E3 is the next event. I'm not sure if we're going or not, but if we do go, Nick, do you know where they are in Los Angeles?
I don't know exactly. Well, I've seen some. There's plenty of them out here.
All right, we'll look them up. We'll look them up and see how that turn. And that'll be how we do it. We'll look them up.
Have Bronson go in there
and not me. Oh, have Anthony go in. That'd be even better.
That.
I mean, like.
Oh, that shit would be so funny.
I mean, like, Anthony is the nicest guy on the entire planet. Like, seriously, I do not know a better person than Anthony Ta. But you want to talk about someone who that situation would be incredibly uncomfortable for? Anthony Ta.
Oh my gosh, that would be so funny.
So, if you guys, I don't even think we'd be able to get him. That's something I don't think we'd be able to get him to agree to.
Well, I don't. I also think with those sex shops, they usually have those signs that say like "No cameras allowed."
No, they were cool. We were filming stuff. Like someone filmed some stuff. So I mean,
we have to find one that's fine with filming.
Like what? Yeah, I don't know, man. Like that's. Oh man, that's.
I think it'd be a fun segment to have.
I don't know. I don't think we're gonna get past one or two of those, but I
yeah,
think
like find ways to integrate like gaming into it, so it's like.
So it's like, do you guys have any...
be like for all the women out there, which one really simulates the solid snake? Like.
Oh, the puns! Oh my god.
Find ways, yeah. To get all the puns in there, like, which one do you recommend as the solid snake?
God damn it. Oh, wow. Alright,
Oh, there's so many other ones they're just coming to mind right now, but I'm not gonna say them on the podcast.
where is Emily when you need her? Because I feel that would be, like, out of all the previous staff members we've had, like, I feel she is the one who would probably feel totally okay with going in there and just start asking random shit about
Oh
random
yeah,
sex toys.
I was with Emily when we went to the sex
Yeah,
shop.
you guys like actually like hung out at that PAX.
Yeah.
I was with Quinn and other Emily and Brandon the entire time.
Yeah, I
Not so
hung
much
out with
Brandon.
Emily quite a bit. We went to a couple. That's where we got the unicorn jizz.
Oh
I
yeah,
got
you.
unicorn jizz with her.
Yeah, I saw Emily once at the booth she was working, and I saw you on the floor a couple times. And I wanted to hang out with you after, at a party, but like just we never ended up getting
Yeah,
together. Um, which that was a bummer, but oh well. This PAX we will though.
yeah.
Um, especially because it's looking like we're cramming 6 people in one hotel room. Clown car. Oh god. So what's the next news story?
That's all I had.
Oh wow.
News stories are all on to you.
All right. So first one we have is the Game Boy is 20 years old.
Wow, I remember my Game Boy.
I never had an original Game Boy. I had a Game Boy Color, purple one, and I had a purple Game Boy Advance. I never had the SP. I remember people like I remember before the SP came out, people would and like same thing with the Game Boy Color. People would have those big fucking like magnifying glasses with lights on
Oh
the
yeah, I
front.
had one of those.
Like I was just like, what are you people
I
doing?
had one. I had one of those because in the dark, it's not like the screens nowadays, where like in the
Oh,
people
I
use
know.
screens to like as like flashlights nowadays. Back then, it's like if it was dark, you couldn't see your screen. So yeah, I had one of those things where it was the magnifying glass, and then it had the flashlight if you were playing in the dark. Oh my gosh, that makes me feel so old.
Yeah, that
I
thing would
had
like
one of those.
rape your batteries. Like that thing was
Oh yeah.
like a game. Like dude, that's the one thing that pissed me off about Game Boys so bad is like Game Boys were the exact reason where like anytime. So I was one of those kids where like I had to work for like anything.
Yeah.
Like, and I had an allowance, but if I wanted to earn anything extra, it's like, okay, but you have to do X, Y, or Z extra. So, you know, I oh god, and I cannot tell you how much extra shit I did to buy like jumbo packs of AA batteries for fucking Game Boy, especially when I was playing a lot of Pokemon. Like Pokemon's the one that really just caused it to go fucking nuts. Um, yeah, man, I don't. Oh god. Um,
I remember, what was it? It was PAX East. It's like, who do you think would have a Game Boy SP anymore? But
Aaron.
freaking PAX East, freaking Aaron brings his Game Boy SP. I'm like, oh my gosh. And he was like, what? He was so nonchalant about it. I'm like, dude, like, that thing is so
That
old.
thing is awesome. Like I still like. I actually kind of want to buy one because I still
It's
play
like
some.
I've never liked the SP. It's like little laptop look. I've never
But
liked it.
motherfuck, it had the screen was bigger and it had a light and a rechargeable battery. It's like peak Game Boy. It
The
plays.
sad thing is the Game Boy SP has a rechargeable battery, yet the Xbox One controller does not come with rechargeable batteries.
How?
That's sad.
Well, that's because Nintendo is actually kind of forward thinking.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like the Xbox One, the next generation console, but you still gotta buy AA batteries or buy a rechargeable battery, which is what you really want because our controller has a port so that you can charge your controller, but guess what? You have to go buy it. So me, what did I do? I had to go buy it. I bought, what was it, 10, it was like 20, $30. But it's
I,
like, I'm not going to keep putting AA batteries in this, so of course I'm going to do that. Have you
I,
gotten the rechargeable battery for it?
dude, I keep a healthy supply of double A's at my house.
Oh.
I just don't. didn't even
It's
bother.
just the inconvenience of it to me to keep switching out batteries. It's like I'd rather just plug it in when I'm not using it and never have to worry about it.
Yeah, I can definitely see that, but for me, I was just like, you know, no, I'm absolutely okay with, like this just does not bother me enough to make me worry. Like just okay, I have to get up and plug in AA batteries. There are far worse things in this world.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
uh, oh man, no, I as far as games on the Game Boy, like obviously Pokemon most played. Like Pokemon, just holy shit, cannot describe how much fucking time I put into Pokemon. I think if I like, I'm not sure if the battery on those cartridges are still dead, but if they're or if they're dead, sorry, not if they're still dead. But if they're alive, like holy shit, the like I think both of them might be at 999 hours, like the maxed out.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Pokemon was nuts, dude. Like that. I mean, that's what everyone got a Game Boy for, right? Like,
Well, yeah, I remember playing Pokemon like crazy on my Game Boy, like crazy, crazy.
yeah, like So let's see, you are, yeah, you're 2 or 3 years younger than me. So I was in first grade when that shit went nuts. Like I was there at like Pokemon, like peak Pokemon. And man, like it was so fucking crazy and like fucking
Remember the little cable thing they came out with so you could like trade Pokemon with
yeah,
people
and
locally?
battle and shit. Like I
Yeah, I
remember
had that.
I did not have it and I frequently like had to trade and borrow with fucking classmates.
I had
Uh
a couple friends in my neighborhood, and we'd always, oh my gosh, it was like every day we were playing Pokemon.
yeah, no, great. I mean, it says a lot about that game that like after Pokemon Silver, they have not had to iterate on the battling too much. Like it
Yeah.
says how balanced that game was. Like that's like that says something right there to me about
On the
yeah.
Pokemon subject, remember Pokemon Snapshot?
That game was awesome. That game was so fucking good. I actually have that for my N64 still. Um,
Oh man.
yeah, like I have Pokemon Snap. I actually have Puzzle League too. In fact, I'm not sure if it's still on our old YouTube, but back before we joined TGA when we were GameCraft, Anthony did a review of Pokemon Puzzle League for the N64, which is basically just Tetris Attack, but still it's awesome. Uh, so yeah, I remember I played a lot of Pokemon.
Do you remember the Pokemon marbles that came out?
No, I don't. I remember Pokemon cards. Cards
Oh
were
yeah, that was huge. But no, they
cards.
came out with like Pokemon marbles, and those were like the thing. I'm surprised you don't remember those.
No, I remember I had a Pikachu camera. Like you had to that you put film in and shit. So that was weird. But what else did I like? I played Pokemon a lot on the Game Boy. I played a lot of Donkey Kong. And I remember when the Game Boy Advance came out, like as far as Game Boy Advance games go, like the Dragon Ball Z games got a ton of playtime from me. The what was the oh, like Sonic Advanced has to be my most played GBA game. Like I played that shit to death. I do not know what it was about I had a Genesis. I played Sonic 2 and 3, but I could not get enough of Sonic Advance on the Game Boy Advance. Are there any Game Boy Advance games that you played a lot of?
Zelda.
Oh, which one?
What name them? If I hear the name, I'll remember.
There was the remake of A Link to the Past, and then there was Four Swords Adventures.
Yeah, Four Swords Adventures.
Yeah, they actually put that out on the 3DS for free during Zelda's 25th anniversary.
Yeah, I played that.
I liked that was 4 players. I thought that was neat. That was a cool feature of that. I don't know. Game Boy Advance. I really liked the second Legacy of Goku game. Like that was actually a really legit RPG. That was one of those games that started my early love for RPGs. along with Final Fantasy 7 and 10. You know, let's see, what else did I play a whole ton of on the GBA? I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, I had this beat 'em up. Do you remember that cartoon, Jackie Chan Adventures?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had a beat 'em up based on that. That was played the living crap out of that. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. Anything else on the Game Boy front that we want to talk about? Or
No, the one game that did come to mind, I don't know why it came to mind right now. It was Super Nintendo, and my parents had it, and it's a game that will always be a part of video game history for me. Is Booger Man.
oh
Booger Man
yeah,
was the game. If any of you guys have a Super Nintendo, it's a game you should probably be able to find at like a
I
retro
think it was
gaming
also on
shop.
Genesis also. So
Yeah,
yeah.
Booger Man. Oh my gosh, and freaking Earthworm Jim on the Super Nintendo. Oh,
Earthworm Jim was good. I remember that one.
Booger Man was. Oh man, I played that game so much. So fun.
All right, so that's the Game Boy front. Happy 20th anniversary Game Boy, and Nintendo's handheld lineup still going strong today. 3DS kicking a lot of ass. I know that like the 3DS is, in my opinion, it's the best platform you can buy right now. If someone asked me what should I be playing my games on right now, I would say a 3DS. There are so many good games for the 3DS right now. I mean, last year we gave it our platform of the year, and with good reason. Because I mean, you look at last year's lineup alone: Pokemon, Animal Crossing, Luigi's Mansion, Fire Emblem, Shin Megami Tensei, Mario and Luigi Dream Team. Just 3D, and the fact that it's like an affordable platform, and I mean like affordable by any human being standards, not just like us weird like to us in the gamer culture, like oh $400 for a system, that seems normal. But like you go to an average human being with a 3DS and be like, this is $170 and it plays video games. Most of them will be like, that seems reasonable. Like that's I don't know. Nick, you should get a 3DS and Street Pass with us at at the next event we
I
go
don't
to.
know, man. It's just the type of
There's
games I'm into. I just
there's
don't
so
think.
many good games on it, man. I'm telling you, you get fucking hooked on Animal Crossing. Go fishing with Anthony and I. Great. Uh,
I did love Animal Crossing on the GameCube. I will
dude,
admit
oh
that.
my god, Animal Crossing on the GameCube was like that. Hey, and also I know one game you would play for sure on it with Anthony and I. Smash.
What?
Smash is
Oh
coming to
yeah,
it.
that's for sure.
Oh my god, dude, Smash at PAX this year because that game's supposed to be out this summer, right? So like, you have to think that like, well, like that is what it's coming
Oh,
out
that's
for.
what everyone at PAX is gonna be playing if it comes out by then.
Yeah, like it's coming out in summer, so it has to come out before like September 15th, and you know Nintendo wants that shit out before PAX.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like they want people playing the demos of that shit. Like, I mean, supposedly it's gonna be playable at E3 this year, both versions of it, and God hopes that's true. Uh,
That'd be awesome.
um, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they've actually announced a lot of really cool stuff for it and a lot of really cool stages. Oh man, I really do like Smash. And actually, for those of you who love What the Hail, the next What the Hail is, if it's not out by now, is actually about Smash Brothers. So hope you're excited for that.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Smash is good. Mario Kart's great. I'm not sure how much you enjoy Zelda, but uh,
Not much of
that,
a Zelda fan anymore.
like I yeah. So oh man, yeah. Like let's see, what else was there with and when it comes to Nintendo handhelds, the one I really didn't like was the regular DS. Like I played very few games on it. Like I thought it was just I don't, for some reason just the PSP clicked with me way more that generation, and I don't know what it was in particular that caused that, but yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Just how I'm not totally in love with the Wii U. I think it's a great platform, and I enjoy a lot of games on it. But I was way more into the regular Wii, and Aaron is the exact opposite. He did not enjoy the regular Wii at all, really, and I really thought it was a rad platform. So,
Right.
who knows? Everyone's different. Speaking of the Thirdus, as Anthony and I have called it since it launched, new Theater Rhythm. For those of you who don't know what Theater Rhythm is, it is a rhythm game based around Final Fantasy music and Final Fantasy characters, where they play like the really important cutscenes and moves and stuff from the games in the background, while you do movements on the touch screen, and you do it in rhythm with the music, and it's all Final Fantasy music and Final Fantasy characters. And like, if you suck at the song or fail, the character you're playing as, who is from a Final Fantasy game, loses health, and keep doing that, they die, and you can level them up. Like, it's basically if a rhythm game and a Final Fantasy game had made a baby in honor of Final Fantasy's 25th anniversary. The first one was easily my favorite 3DS game, so I'm super stoked for this. It's going to have, get this, Nick, over 50 characters and over 200 songs.
That's crazy.
And it is going to have, and this time it is going to have 2-player versus mode, and it's also going to include some games from the side series, such as Final Fantasy Crisis Core, Advent Children, and Tactics. They've confirmed several songs from several different games. It's out in Japan already. It is coming to America in summer, which that is becoming by far my most hated word to come out of game publishers' mouths, is summer. And it's because
why?
I love the fact that games are coming out in the summer. I just hate that I have to wait to play either all these games. Like Blizzard, when's the Heroes of the Storm beta coming? Summer.
Well, it's better than them saying holiday season when the rest of these other games are coming out, and then you're going to have to find out how to find time.
That's true. But still, and it's actually kind of good because, I've always been a fan of having titles released throughout the year, so I don't know. It's, part of me likes it, and part of me is like, why can't this be out now? Especially because there's nothing out now. Why? So they announced the new Dragon Age. It looks like more Dragon Age. I really don't. I never was a fan of that series, so I can't really speak on that. That's more of an Anthony thing. I will say that Mattel and Sony are making a Barbie movie. So enjoy that.
They're making a what?
A Barbie movie.
Awesome.
Yeah. Super great. Super gangsta.
Look forward to seeing that one.
Yep. Oh, man. So, in other news that actually matters, Xbox One.
Bless me. Whew.
Xbox
topic, Rodman.
Xbox One coming to Japan finally. September 4th. So, all 4 people in Japan who want to buy an Xbox, you can. You can.
The only people I see rushing out to get Xbox One in Japan are racing enthusiasts for Forza.
No, well, here's the thing. It depends.
Because we know we're not going to see a Gran Turismo on the PlayStation 4 anytime soon.
Are they
I don't
going
think
to
we'll see Gran Turismo on PlayStation 4 until 2016.
That's generous.
I think we'll see a Gran Turismo 6 HD 2015.
Gran Turismo 6 2022.
As the PlayStation 5's announced. We're announcing the PlayStation 5, but we're also announcing Gran Turismo 6 already came out, sorry. Gran Turismo 7 on the PlayStation 4.
See, you joke about that?
Gran Turismo 7 will be coming out on the PlayStation 4 the day that the PlayStation 5 comes out.
See, you joke about that, but Persona 5 coming out on PS3 next year. Fuck me. It is literally the only reason I am keeping my PS3 out and about. Well, just, Anyway. Oh my god, I had the page I want to talk about fucking saved, and now... Oh, here we go. So, Killer Instinct Season 2 is happening. And they have said that it is going to include 8 new characters, and is going to add 8 characters, and it will also be adding the No Mercy finishers from previous games. Ironically enough, the franchise still has 8 characters that have not been seen in the new game. TJ Combo, Cinder, Riptor, Kim Woo, Maya, Tusk, Idol, and Gargos. Honestly, out of that list, I want them to bring back TJ Combo, Cinder, Kim Woo, Maya, and Tusk, and then make new characters, but that's just me. The fine folks developing it are the people over at Iron Galaxy, who made Dive Kick and remade Street Fighter 3 HD. So, got some fighting game pedigree under their belt.
Cool.
Thoughts? I think it's cool that they're supporting that game.
That is cool.
Because they deserve it. I mean, they're a good developer. That was a great game. It's a shame that the main team had to move on from it, but, you know, shit happens. I get that. Moving forward, final piece of news I have is Ken Amada and Risei Kujikawa are going to move from being side characters in Persona 4, the Ultimax Suplex Hold. The Ultimax Ultra Suplex Hold. And be actual fighters. It is supposed to be coming out in... also, Best Buy has the game listed as coming out September 16th in the States, which would fall in line with Best Buy, with Atlas's announcement that it is coming out fall of this year. Which
but usually those dates that we see on GameStop or Best Buy or Amazon, usually those dates aren't accurate.
Yeah.
Usually those are just filler dates, so they have a date to put on there.
Yeah, but I imagine this is going to get pretty close to that. And finally, I'm excited for this game. Persona 4 Arena, the first one, was my second favorite fighting game of the generation, behind Street Fighter 4. I put tons of time into it. And it's actually a fighting game that has good enough tutorials for normal people to learn. Like, I actually hand that game to people who aren't obsessed with fighting games, and they can play it and not suck. It actually makes it so I can, enjoy it with friends. Versus what happens when... Because here's the thing, if anyone comes over to play Street Fighter with me that isn't my friend Joe, they just get dominated. Like, just in the worst way possible. So, yeah. Anyway, that's it for news on my end, unless something springs into mind.
I think that's it.
Okay, well, we should bring up these questions. Also, Nick, actually, before this, how great would it be if the American title of this is not Persona 4 Arena 2, and they keep the Japanese title of Persona 4 the Ultimax Ultra Suplex Hold?
What is up with Japan and their long game titles?
I don't know, but I love this. It's so great. Like, that is one of the best titles for a game I have heard in ages. It's almost as good as... Oh, my God. So, also, they've announced the Japan release date for the console versions of that game, because the arcade versions have been out since last December, for August 28th. So, yeah. Alright, so I guess moving on to questions. And boy, do we have a buttload. Oh boy. Are you ready for this?
I am.
Oh, actually, sidebar. Did you know Taco Bell makes a breakfast taco?
Yes, it's made with a waffle, yes.
Yeah, a friend of mine had one and posted it on Facebook. And I sent him a message saying, things like this should just be labeled given up already, huh? And I don't know, like, it looks horrible, but it also looks like I kind of want to try it. Like, when my car is fixed, I might stop at Taco Bell to try this one morning. Because the problem is, there's not a Taco Bell close to my work. Like, they're all kind of out of the way. Like the places by my work are 7-Eleven, Subway, and Little Caesars. Which I'm telling you right now, having a Little Caesars by my job is like the worst thing that ever could have happened to me.
Why's
Like
that?
$5 pizza, motherfucker? For a whole fucking pizza? Like that. First off, that's lunch for 2 or 3, maybe even 4 days, and it's delicious. Oh my god! Like just, like Subway. That's that's sandwiches. I can pack that at home. And 7-Eleven, man cannot live on taquitos.
Taquitos.
So that leaves Little Caesars as the only place I can regularly visit. Oh, there's also TCBY yogurt by where I work now too. Anyway, moving forward to the questions and comments. Relentless Fight says, I believe there is more to this firing story that is being told in regards to our story last week of Marty O'Donnell getting shit canned. Cray T says, when patch 1.7 is live, please use the picture-in-picture feature with the PS4 camera. Do you guys plan on using Share Factory or just video capture? We're probably going to continue to use our capture card because that way we can just capture an hour all at once. As for picture-in-picture with the camera, I don't own a PlayStation camera, so if Bremen has one, then sure. If not, then you're going to have to wait till I pull some extra cash together. Money's kind of tight right now, but give it a month or two and I might pull some cash together for that camera. Also, donations are always appreciated. Let's see. Moving forward, another Cray T is, and regarding your question, I think you guys doing what you guys are doing with 60-minute access is great, as it's an hour video, but in 4 episodes, usually keeps me coming back just about every day. With Super Mega Awesome Go Playtime, I stopped watching because it's just too much. I like the idea, but shorter games, preferably no more than 15 to 20 episodes. So, yeah, we learned that. So we kind of found that Chrono Trigger is our limit. Like, a 25-hour game is as far as we can go. 20 to 25 is the limit. Anything over that, like Okami, I got us pegged at about 35 to 40 hours. We got another 5 hours to go about in Okami. It's just too long. It's thankfully, you should be happy that it's going long, though, because Anthony and I have figured out how to be more entertaining over a longer period of time, though. So some good has come out of this, and also Anthony and I got to play Okami, which that game is fucking amazing, so I don't know, Nick, thoughts?
I agree. I think we should limit to like 10, 15-hour games just because if you have so many episodes, like that's the thing, like that if you, we view the view numbers from you guys, and 60-minute access is considerably better than Super Mega Awesome Go Playtime. And I can understand why, because it's shorter, it's easier to follow, whereas with Super Mega Awesome Go Playtime, these games are so long, and it's to that point where it's like, I don't want to watch another episode of this. So I think we should keep it to 10, 15-hour games.
Yeah, which is why for the Penny Arcade episode 4 is gonna be our next game. That is gonna be 6 to 12, depending on how much side stuff we do. And then after that, we've talked about Catherine, which that's a 15-hour game.
I think doing an Infamous, for example, I think that'd be a good length.
We thought about those. We thought about Halo 2, because Anthony's never played Halo 2. We thought about The Walking Dead. We've talked about The Wolf Among Us. We've talked about like Catherine is one that we've actually gone back to a couple times. And the reason is because it fits our category. Like we try and we've also talked about Yakuza. Yakuza is one of the like Yakuza is about 12 hours long. It has a lot of weird shit that we can commentate on. And also, for the viewer, it would be educational because there'd be a bunch of weird Japanese shit that I would have to explain the entire time. It's like, okay, yeah, the reason that happens is because. Yeah, I don't know. So for Super Mega Awesome Go Playtime, if you guys have a particular game that you want to see us go all the way through, um, you know, send it to us. Just try and keep it under the 25-hour mark, and preferably under 20. Uh, just so you know, Persona 4 and and Zelda Twilight Princess are going to be the last games we ever do for that series. So, when you see Twilight Princess and you see Persona 4, that's when that series is done. That's when Anthony and I are just officially tired of doing Let's Plays. Or at least that's when Anthony and I are done with Let's Plays. If Nick and Kyrie in the future, when we have an office, want to pick it back up and play through stuff, that's fine.
Right.
But like, when Anthony and I are ready to retire, that's the two games you'll see. Sway says, I would love for this to be all your guys' full-time job, so we have hours of content a day to watch and listen to. You guys are awesome. I know you'll make it someday. So do we, but man, at points it can be stressful. Anthony and I squeeze this into our busy schedules, and so does Nick. I do mean busy because Anthony's a full-time engineering student. I have two different jobs I'm working on. Kyrie's a full-time student. So her load isn't as bad right now, but it used to be she had a job at the same time. I know, Nick, you have a very busy type job.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, right now we produce a really good amount of content considering the amount of time we have and the amount of people we have. I'm always on the look for new staff members. It's just we've had such a revolving door. We're looking for someone that is a good right fit. So that's kind of why that's why you see so many people come and go, and why recently you've just seen a steady 5 is because we found a steady 5 that really works hard and really wants it.
Right.
If we find another person who fits into that, great. But until then, Kyrie does her what the hell about every other week, every 3 weeks. Bronson Rants is kind of inconsistent. The raid kind of comes down to how much MOBAs or MMOs Anthony are playing. Gamecast is going to return. It's just my schedule's just been so weird over the past couple months, but that's going to return soon. And Unscripted our priority list is Unscripted and 60-Minute Access are the most important shows, and we have to get them out every week. That's the priority list because that's from what our view numbers say and from what you guys have told us. Those are the ones that matter the most.
Right.
So that's the ones we do for first and foremost, and then we go to the Gamecast and Super Mega, and then we go to the individual shows like What the Hell and Bronson Rants.
Which What the Hell does very well too.
What the Hell does
a great show.
What the Hell is a great show. It does really well. It's just she produces those all by herself. The advantage to 60-Minute and Unscripted and Super Mega is that's Anthony Bremen and I. So you have 3 people working on it at any one time. So that's why that gets a little. That's why that one's a little easier. Those are a little easier to push out. Moving forward. But thank you, Jay Sway. That's we do it because you guys like it, and we do it because we like doing it. And God knows
we hope to make this our full-time job one day too.
We shall make it one day. It's just
yes, it will be an awesome feeling when that day comes.
That is it's gonna be super hype.
I mean, if you had us 5 working full-time, honestly, I think you guys would be shocked what 5 people could do. It's like you see some of these sites and they've got a staff of 30, 40 people, And yes, they're doing a lot, but it's just like I'm not saying 5 people can do what they're doing, but I know that with 5 people, we could produce
I
maybe half of what those 30, 40 people are doing. So, I mean,
I
if
mean,
I had a staff of 30, 40 people, I know the way I'd have it managed and everything. Like, trust me, like, you would not need to go anywhere else for anything because we would literally have every single thing you could think of on our site.
I think of the way we work, and I think of it like what 30 people doing what we do would be like.
Yeah,
And
you give me 30 employees I can pay to work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Trust me. I would need some time myself to sit down and be like, hey, how can I manage this? How can I organize this? And how can I make this most effective? And I'm telling you, I could make some pretty crazy happen. Like
yeah,
it would seriously put some of these other sites to shame.
I mean, I you know, I'm a big fan of Giant Bomb. I respect those guys. I guess you would say as colleagues, because that's, we write and make videos also. They're a 7-man staff, and they produce a lot of content, a lot of great content in a week. And I think we could do a lot more than that, even. Because Anthony and I get all our shit. Like, Anthony, you remember, Anthony and I produce 2 to 4 shows a week. 2 of them being video shows, 2 of them being podcasts. And I occasionally throw in a written article or two. And the combined time to get that done is about 10 to 12 hours.
Which, if in 8 to 5 hours, that's 40 hours a week. That means just from Bronson and Anthony alone, they're producing 4 times as much content as they are now on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
At least 4 times as much.
Yeah.
And that's just 2 people. So
Yeah.
imagine you would pretty much have literally probably a couple hours of video content posted every single day.
Yeah, I would have a whole day just to work on my anime show. Just like that whole anime show that I've been working on for ages. There'd be a day for that. Like there'd be a day for the history of video games. There'd be that retro show Anthony wants to work on. He'd be able to do that. Like Anthony and I have enough ideas for shows that literally, we could sustain a whole network. It's just a matter of we have about 12. I would say the most that we could do for TGA in a week, and that's if we really clean out our schedule, is 25 hours. And that's if we just completely clear everything out. Social engagement, like Nick, you know what we do for Extra Life? Like that.
Yeah.
Like it would have to be an Extra Life every week. And that's just unreasonable because we have families and jobs and, shit to attend to. But yeah, I don't know. Well, we're gonna get there. Like you look at our traffic; it steadily grows constantly. You guys keep spreading word of mouth, which thank you. We love that. We've had our first 2 panels. We're gonna have our third. We may even have a fourth. Obviously, that's up to those conventions to agree to that.
We were recently. I won't announce it yet, but we were actually invited to be judges of something coming up during the summer. So that's actually really cool too. So it's like It used to be something where it's like, yeah, it'd be cool to do a panel or whatever, but now it's like, not only are we able to now do these things, we're actually being contacted by people that want us to do these things. We're being contacted for panels. I was personally contacted to be a part of a journalism panel in Atlanta. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make it because it's a relatively new con. It's called MomoCon. It's being held in Atlanta. And they just don't have the expenses to be able to. I mean, they do, but the problem is they're flying other talent out there, such as Travis Baker, who obviously was a voice between Delson Rowe and Infamous and many other big games, Last of Us, etc. Yeah, Troy Baker.
Not Travis. I was like,
Travis Baker. Troy Baker. Yeah, so, and then some other big talent. They're flying, I believe, a couple people from BioWare out there. So it's like, but I was invited to do a panel, and they're gonna have...
I remember you telling us about that in a meeting. We do a weekly meeting, and, I remember you telling us about that. I said, yeah, that'd be great if we could get flown out there.
Yeah, so it's just like we're kind of in that situation where we're kind of at the point where we're being invited to all these things. We still have the financial limits, though, as far as finances go. We really haven't progressed much there, but that's something that just comes with time. Once we get to the point where we're getting enough traffic, and I mean, who knows if we get to the point where we're getting some serious traffic. I mean, right now, majority of our the money that is being generated to the site that just goes back into the hosting costs and marketing of the website to the banner ads that we have on the site, and not even really that doesn't generate much revenue, but most of it's from the pre-roll video advertisements on our videos.
Motherfuckers, don't use ad block. Stop it.
Yes. So those help generate income for our website, which just go back into the site. It's not like we're taking this money and going out and partying with it. It's not even enough money to go party with. So
Motherfucker, it's a month to go get. Oh, let's go get a pizza. Oh, hey, we can.
yeah. So we still are in that kind of situation where we're financially limited. But our limits keep being restricted as we progress. So hopefully a year from now, 2 years from now, not saying that a year from now we're gonna have an office. I mean, that's just not practical for things to move that fast. If they did, that'd be awesome. But that's just not practical. So if things continuously continue moving and get to that point where we're at least making part-time salaries from this, that'd be great. And then we have money to use for events, and we're covering more events, bringing more content to you guys, and going to more of these events. I mean, that's just kind of what we're not even really hoping, we're working towards. I know we're gonna get there. It's not really hope. We're making big strides. So
yeah,
just continue supporting us. Tell everyone the word. Like we're not asking for you to donate money to the website or anything like that. You don't have to donate $1. All we're asking for is for you to continuously spread the website. Tell your friends. Have your friends tell your friends. Have you go review us on iTunes. Have your friends review on iTunes. Have everyone you know review on iTunes. I mean, likely, if you're playing games, you have a friend list of quite a few people. Next time you're playing a game with them, hey, you guys should go to GamerX.com, check out this content, blah, 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 blah. It's that easy. You have enough people do that, and before you know it, our website's huge.
Yeah, so... Yeah, like that's basically it. Like we grow through you guys because you guys spread us around and I mean I actually we actually run at a loss. At least I do personally because every month I'm paying for that GameFly account. And I do get some personal use out of it, but like I'd say 85% of the use of that GameFly account is oh shit, the newest game is coming out this week, 60-minute access. that's how that is. And like I said, we are progressing, and it's all thanks to you guys, and we love you guys for that. And we love, we do this for free every week. Like, if we didn't like doing it, we wouldn't do it every week. God knows. Like, right. If I don't like doing something, I got better shit to do with my time. Just period. Oh, man. So, anyway, that's that. Thank you. We're gonna get there eventually, guys. And the thing is like like to put perspective in on like how much we like doing this. It's like, okay, well, how many people can we cram into one kind of average hotel so the whole staff can go?
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff the kind of stuff that we think of. I mean, would we like to stay in high-end stuff and like all that? Yeah, it'd be cool. But realistically, it's like, okay, we have X amount of money for this trip from the sponsor. We obviously need to pick what's most optimal. And same goes for all our equipment. Like as far as Anthony and I's equipment goes, the microphone and the capture device, like that's because we got review units.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like, honestly, it's really shitty when one of your biggest hurdles is money. Like, that's because like because I think about like, man, we could cover PAX and we could cover E3 and we could cover PAX East and CES. And realistically, like, one, I need time. Like, in my case and in Kyrie's case, we needed to get time off for those types of things. So we're not earning money. And then you got to factor in, like, food, hotel, etc. And like if we're lucky enough to get a sponsorship, okay, let's say hotel is covered, but then we still got to feed ourselves at the hotel, and and pay for the flight. Or let's say the flight's covered, but the hotel isn't. Whatever it is, like, and that sucks. Like that sucks. That like the reason you didn't get PAX coverage last year is because like cash and time. Like that's really shitty. Like but that's just the kind of reality of it.
Yeah, it's
So
not like we're like, we don't feel like covering packs this year. We're just gonna stay home. It's not like that. Trust me, trust us. Like, if we had the finances, we'd be covering E3 every year. We cover PAX East and PAX Prime every year. We'd be covering GDC every year. We'd be covering all of these events every
I
single
I
year.
mean like 2 weeks like no, like it was last week or 2 weeks ago. PAX East was going on. Like we would have loved to be in Boston. Like even if it was only two or three of us out of the five, or no, six. Sorry, like it would have been great. But like just like the only person who probably could have realistically gone to that was Kyrie. Because she's on the East Coast. Like the events that are kind of flexible for us are the West Coast ones, because Anthony and I happen to live in a part of the country, and so does Nick, to where they're all within driving distance. So if we can manage to scrape together enough for a hotel, we can typically cover the event, even if we have to live like hobos. You know, I remember when the first time we had a conversation about E3 in 2012 about possibly going. Aaron and I were looking at hostels. Okay, so like and then we thought, okay, maybe we shouldn't get stabbed at a hostel. That in LA. You know, like if it was a Portland or Seattle hostel, I'd think about it. No offense to LA, Nick. I'm not staying in an LA hostel.
Oh no, that's the thing. Like I wouldn't stay in a hospital, period, let alone in LA.
Like if we had a budget, it's like you guys have to stay in a Seattle hostel for PAX Prime. I'd be like, fine. But like LA, no. Um, yeah, I don't know. So, like I said, spread us around. Like that's the fastest way we get to doing this part time. Then part time we can produce more content, which means more hits, which leads to full time. So
Yep.
spread us around, guys. Like that's like word of mouth is a powerful thing. I mean, dear God.
Word of mouth is the best kind of marketing there is.
Because I mean, how often do you tell a friend like this is awesome, check it out, and they actually do, and then they end up liking it?
And then they keep coming back, and then they tell friends that you didn't even know, and then it keeps going on and on and on.
Exactly.
And if there's anything you guys want us to start producing or whatever, let us know. I mean, I can't promise you we'll produce everything you ask for, but we can consider it and see if we can make it happen.
Exactly. Like, I mean, like, if you guys just, like, I know Anthony and I produce 60-minute access every week, and we just kind of, like, say, these are the new releases. Okay, what one do you think will be most popular? And we usually hit it on the dot. Like, most of the time we're pretty right. There have been a couple exceptions where you guys have said, "Oh, I wish you would have done this," but for the most part, we hit it kind of nail on the head. And but if you guys want to see something else, and that goes for any series, or like if you want us, like even reviews, like if you want us to review a retro game or a new game or something like that, just like tell us, and we'll do our best to get a copy. Or if you want to send us a copy, we're not against that. um, so yeah, I don't know. Like that's, oh man, it's oh yeah. So spread us around. That's basically what we're saying. Anyway, moving forward is Dimitri88 says, suddenly important people are getting fired all over the place, or is it simply because it's getting announced so much? Sorry for caps. I think it's because it's the start of a generation, and like now is the best time to move companies if you want to move. You know?
Yeah.
So that's why.
Plus, another good thing you need to keep in mind is with internet and the social networks, like, you didn't hear about all these people being fired and stuff when the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 were coming out. Like, that just wasn't, it wasn't as public, it wasn't as, like, big of a deal. Whereas, like, now it's kind of one of those things where it's like, if you're a producer at a company and you're fired, oh no, it's like national news. So, that's also changed.
Huh. Yeah,
It's like
like
a
that.
job postings posted nowadays, and it's all over the internet that a job posting's gone up. And then
You
people
know,
try to link it to the fact that, oh, this job posting means that they're coming out with this game.
well, I mean, and that's in our industry too, because I remember, I've been looking for an alternative writing gig to do full time while doing this, and just like it's like, oh yeah, GameSpot's looking for an associate editor. Yeah, like, oh, who are they firing? Like, motherfucker, they're not firing anyone. They're just looking for an associate editor.
Yeah.
Like it's not how that works. I know that we like, I don't know, that just, oh man. Um, so going forward, uh, the game. He says the game is ready. They don't need it anymore. That's my guess. I don't think you're gonna fire the dude who made the music for Halo without a really good reason. Like, Halo is one of the iconic soundtracks of video games. Like, everyone knows the chorus that plays in the title theme, everyone knows that piano cue, and everyone knows that dun 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 dun, dun 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 dun, like, everyone knows that music. So, like, they better had a damn good reason, would be my guess. Uh, by the way, before we read Solid Kratos' novel he sent in at the last possible minute, as always. Not
It's
like
like
I
he
want.
knows when we record and he sends
He
it in as
does.
close to that.
Remember, he asked us when we record, and we told him 8 p. We start at technically 9, but the meeting starts at 8 p.m. 8 p.m.
Yeah.
On Wednesdays, Pacific time. Or the Pacific time, not well, it does start at a very specific time, but anyway. Duh. So they've announced the PSN Plus games for next month. Octodad is going to be free. Octodad.
Oh, it's Octodad's gonna be free?
Oh wait, hold on. Oh fuck, never mind. This was a totally different update. This is what was coming out this month. Or
Yeah,
this
because
week.
Octodad's just discounted for PlayStation Plus right now.
Yeah, it's $12, which if I had $12, I know where it would be going. That game was on my top 10 most anticipated for the year. Walking Dead Season 2 and Episode 1 and all the other episodes are $5 for Vita, which I've been playing that on the PC, and it is just as well written and horribly heartbreaking and emotional mindfuckery as the first. So if you want to cry and be sad and then be happy and then feel relief and see how they're going to take that from you in a new way again and again and again, go play that season 2. It's really good. I'm enjoying it. They also what else did they put out? They also put out something that I was oh yeah, Demon's Gaze. I've been reviewing that. It's a really long dungeon crawler. Short version of the review, just because the other one probably won't be able. The text review won't be able until next week. Really hard, really simplistic presentation, but the music's really good. The gameplay is pretty solid. If you want a challenging dungeon crawler, it is definitely worth looking into. All right, back to questions. Solid Kratos. Oh boy. All right, here we go. 4 questions. All right. Nothing too big this time. Since Persona 4 is now available on PSN, and with Bronson praising it, I decided to buy it yesterday, and I've only clocked 3 hours in, and I love it. But here's my question. On PSN, there's also Persona 3, and I was wondering, are the Persona series story connected in any way? And is it alright for me to jump straight to P4, or also buy 3 and play that before 4? There's, like, cameos and weird stuff that kind of links together, but, like, nothing that's, like, super important and that you need to see. I actually played them in the order of 4 before 3, so it's fine. Just so you know, if you ever go back to 3, it's going to be a bit harder mechanically, especially because the dungeon in that game. Yes, I said dungeon. It's not like okay. So Persona 4 has a bunch of different separate dungeons. Persona 3 is just one 280 story tower. So yeah. Heads up for Persona 4 also, pay when you get to the dungeon labeled Heaven. I'm doing this spoiler free. It is labeled as Heaven. Be very careful with everything after that if you want to get the good ending, and make sure you're paying attention to all the clues and who you think is the murderer. Because otherwise you will get the shitty ending in the game. You'll miss out on like 2.5 dungeons and be very disappointed. Or just look up at a guide online, because either choice. But I figured it out on my own, and I thought it was cool. And if you want to get the true ending, on the last day in your town before you have to go back home to your parents, talk to everyone at least twice. And make sure you go to June. And after you're done talking to everyone, go to Junes a couple times. And then go talk to the gas station attendant. Okay, there you go. You'll probably forget that by the time you get to that point in the game, because... Nick, to put this in perspective, my first playthrough of Persona 4 was 65 hours.
That's crazy.
So, yeah. I've speedrun the game, and it took me about 38.
That's a long game.
It's fucking good, though, man. So good. You should buy it. It's $10. Well, actually, no. You own a Vita, so you should get the even longer, better version. Which is $20 now, I think. Anyway, yeah, you should just jump into 4 first. 4 is probably the best starting point. In fact, I would jump into 4, then go back to 3, because that way you'll, like, know the mechanics and be prepared for the significantly more difficult Persona 3. Anyway, next question is, are you guys hyped for The Evil Within, a Resident Evil spiritual successor published by Bethesda?
Honestly, I kind of was until I saw it behind closed doors at E3, and I was disappointed. I'm sure that they're going to show it at E3 again, so maybe after seeing a year's worth of work added to it, I'll be impressed. But from what I last saw at E3 last year behind closed doors, I was kind of disappointed.
I just don't care. Like, just... I'm kind of, like... I really hate being a jaded asshole. But it's kind of, like, happening over fucking time. Right? And it's because, like, there's so much shit that's just the same. Like, yeah, like, I love Uncharted, but, like, if it's just more Uncharted, I just don't give a fuck anymore. You know, like that's why I've been, like, so obsessed with indie games and these games kind of, like, these games out of Japan and shit like that, because it's different and weird. You know, because, like, everyone's, like, all hyped over Watch Dogs, and I'm like, it's Assassin's Creed in the future. You know, like, that's what it fucking is. It's made by the same fucking developer, even.
I don't know. I'm willing to give Watch Dogs a chance.
I'm gonna give it a chance, but I'm, like, looking at it, I'm like, this looks like fucking Assassin's Creed in the future.
I wouldn't say that. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you know, like, I'm excited for Destiny, but, like...
Oh, like, Destiny. Oh,
Destiny,
man.
Yeah,
I'm looking... People who've been following me for a while know how much I love Uncharted. And the fact that Destiny slightly outbeat Uncharted 4 for my most anticipated game says a lot.
I mean, like, my most anticipated games were uh, Bayonetta, Infamous, or Bayonetta and Infamous. And Infamous is only on its third game, so it still feels fresh. And Bayonetta is only on its second. And Bayonetta 1 was fucking crazy. So, I'm expecting the same out of 2 and hope that it.
And I'm still really hoping. Oh man, Gearbox, what are they working on? I hope they're working on a Borderlands 3 for the next generation consoles.
They're supposedly working on that prequel, I thought.
Yeah, but that's not a full game, and that's just for PS3 and 360. It's not like a full game though.
All right, well,
It's like I hope they have a team working on a. Oh, I want Borderlands 3 so bad. Borderlands 2 was so good. It was so good.
I loved Borderlands 2. Really disliked Borderlands 1. So
I did not. I agree. I did not like Borderlands 1, but I loved Borderlands 2.
Yeah, I thought like Borderlands. I did not give a shit about Borderlands 2 till I played it at PAX, and I was like, "Damn, you guys turned this ship around, didn't you?" Yeah, I don't know. Like, and I'm excited for Heroes of the Storm, and the reason I'm excited for Heroes of the Storm is like, yeah, there are a ton of MOBAs out there, but like, there are two that matter. Dota and League. And this is doing something significantly different than Dota or League. Like, you can actually learn it and play it in a week, not months. It took Anthony literally months to be good at League. Like, same thing with me in Dota. It took me literally months to get competent at Dota. Like, having an accessible MOBA sounds fucking amazing. And a lot of stuff they keep showing for that game looks really cool. Like, in most MOBAs, the map really doesn't matter. Like, it's top, bottom, middle, and you just try and push your lane, and, that's and you win or lose. But this, like, now you might abandon your lane completely because fuck it, that thing on the map could give your team such a power boost that it doesn't fucking matter if you win your lane. So yeah, that's why I'm excited for that. Anyway, with PAX East over, what was your favorite thing to come out of this convention? Do you have any plans to go to conventions soon like E3 or other local conventions? It's confirmed we're gonna have a panel at Game Expo in Reno. So, that's a thing. E3 is a maybe so far. Bremen and I have to get the time off work, and we're trying to get a sponsorship. Yeah. I don't know, Nick?
Yeah, I don't have much to say. We're making plans, hopefully, to get to E3. So hopefully we're able to make that happen.
PAX Prime is going to happen because PAX Prime is going to happen because flights aren't that bad, at least for us because we're on the West Coast. And as of right now, I have 4 or 5 people cramming into one hotel room, and that could go up to 7 soon. So that $1,000 room for 5 days suddenly turns into like $120 per person. For like 5 days in downtown Seattle. Less than half a mile away from the con. I don't know about you. You're not gonna beat that price. I don't give a shit if you have to sleep on the floor. Like, big deal, right? I mean, Nick, you've been to cons. How much do you sleep? Like 4 hours a night? Ish?
If you're lucky, yeah.
Yeah, so like I always find it fucking ridiculous when like people go to cons like, I'm getting a great hotel. Like, no, why? Why would you spend that extra money? Like, I don't get like like, I understand staying at like the closest hotel and spending extra money. Because there have been a lot of cases where I would stay like a mile away and have to bring shit back to the hotel room, which would have been way easier just to go next door or like a block away. Uh, so yeah. As for what I thought about PAX East, all the Blizzard stuff was really cool. If you haven't watched it yet, go watch the Giant Bomb panel because it was hilarious. They posted it online. Did you see any of the stuff coming out of PAX East?
Not much, no.
They showed a couple of the new heroes for Heroes of the Storm. They haven't been in alpha yet. Brightwing is hilarious. Nick, I want you to picture a fairy dragon who's like all super happy. He's like play. He says he likes playing and animals, and then he's eating a human corpse. So, and then he's like, and I also like snack time, and then he eats the human corpse. So yeah, Heroes of the Storm stuff. Yeah, cons are always cons are fun to go to and fun to cover. Like I said, Game Expo is for sure because we live in the city and we're friends with the people who host the event. So, that's kind of just a automatic no-brainer. As for the other ones, we'll see. PAX Prime is very likely because as of right now, we have 4 or 5 people cramming into a room. Hey Nick, you want to join us in that?
I don't know. I'll let you know.
Oh, hey man, come on. Think about this. How great would it be if you only spent $100 on your hotel room?
That's true.
Granted, you would have to share a bed with 2 girls, but anyway, or 2 dudes, whatever the preference is. And not that way, you perverts. God damn it. I know what our audience is thinking. No, because right now I have a couple of friends who are going just for fun, and then Aaron, ex-staff member, wants to go for fun, so that's 3 people. And then there's me. I plan to go for both. And then Anthony will probably go for both. And then, then all kinds. And then shit gets weird because, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. PAX is going to be a weird one, but that one's very likely. E3, it's very dependent on sponsors and getting time off and shit like that. Last question. Hopefully you guys can see my different shirt design. Still a work in progress. Okay, sorry I can't put the image in the comment section, so I decided to send it to the website email. It's best I can do. Sorry guys, maybe another time I can show the snowballing t-shirt.
Yes, show the staff your snowballing t-shirt.
It was funny. We liked it.
David, I'm going to email you back on how to post an image in the comment section so you know how to do that. So expect an email. By the time the podcast is up, you should have an email because I'm going to email you tomorrow morning. So, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. So, man. Years go by quick. I mean, we're at April 23rd.
I know. It's we're almost to like the midway point of the year already. It's crazy.
I mean, that's just nuts, man. We're 1/3 of the way through the year. That's fucking nuts. That's absolutely nuts when I think about that. But I mean, it makes sense. Jesus.
Before you know it, it'll be 2015.
Yeah.
And then 2016.
Yep.
And then before you know it, Bronson and I'll be growing gray hairs.
So you don't already have those?
I mean, fully gray hairs, only gray hair.
I was about to say, motherfucker.
Before you know it, Bronson and I will be saying goodbye to our last colored hair.
Yeah, because I already know you.
But I have no gray hairs yet.
Yeah, you work as much as I do, and if not more. And I know I work
Yeah, which means I'm probably just a year or 2 away from gray hairs.
Yeah, which means, and I'm already going gray. So I mean, fuck, man. We're gonna have an office. We're gonna get the office in 2017. 2019 rolls around. We're in our 30s.
We're all bald.
I'm lucky with my family. That one ain't happening. but gray hair, that is very much a reality for my family. So, uh, 20, we're into our like fifth year in the office. 2022 is rolling around. And it's like, oh god damn it, we're gonna have to start dyeing our hair. Uh, you know what's weird?
People
It's
come into our office and think everyone's retired.
Oh my god, but like it's really weird when you see shit like that because like Jeff Gerstmann, the man's 35, like dude still spikes his hair, and like you go look over at like Kevin Smith, same thing, and balding, dude spikes his hair still. It's like dude, our generation is gonna be so interesting to watch age, right? Like
Oh yeah.
just because the way they dress and how like certain things become acceptable. Oh,
Like
like
before you know it, you're gonna see people in their 50s and 60s sagging their pants.
now that's depressing, and it's not going to be because of the depends. Uh, like just that's the sad part. Like that is one thing from like modern society. Like every time I see it, I just get
Well, Bronson,
sad.
don't you just love seeing the guy's boxers?
I I want to like take that belt that he's wearing for no reason and like beat him with it if that's what you mean. Like motherfucker, why do you even have a belt? Oh. Like occasionally my pants will sag, but it's because like it's like the third day of me wearing them and I haven't done laundry yet, so that I've like worn them out. Or like it's because I'll have lost some weight and I'm not fat enough to wear them anymore.
Yeah.
Like that's like if I have jeans sagging, it either means those jeans have been worn for a day or two, or I've lost a little bit of weight. So, ugh, God,
You're not just strutting your stuff.
no, no. I mean, let's be honest. No one wants to see my ass. No one. Let's be honest here. God. Oh, God. So yeah, I think that's it. So next. So I guess some content announcements. Next week's 60 minute, or I guess this week's 60 minute access. The upcoming one after Donkey Kong is Mario Kart. Then after that, SingStar. Then I don't know what it is. Okami is going to be finished. I'm going to say hopefully before E3. One thing I can say about E3. Back to his convention question real quick. One thing I can say about E3 is we do pretty fucking good home base coverage. For not being there, we post a lot of content. I mean,
Absolutely.
because like last year, I know Nick got a bunch of interviews in and posted them to the site when he was done with them. But before those were posted, we had an entire like us watch like basically 60 minute access of Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo's press conferences. Yeah. So I don't know. That's that. Uh, we're on iTunes. We're on YouTube. We're on all those places that you should go subscribe and watch all our stuff. Because like we said, like we said earlier, faster this grows, the more content you get. Would it be great to have like 80 hours of content? Like, like I'm not gonna say like, wouldn't it be great to have like 3 new shows added? Wouldn't that be rad?
Yeah.
Yes, we are essentially bribing you. Would it be great to see What the Hail every week? Oh. Oh, God. I'm obviously tired.
Yeah, you and me both.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next week.
I love you.
Review us on iTunes. Spread the word.
Yeah, those iTunes reviews are super fucking important because we have like nothing but 5-star ratings, but not enough for us to actually get ranked. So like,
Right.
tell your friends to write fucking review. Like even if it's one word, like they're like cool and then 5 stars, or like I hate their guts, but 5 stars anyway. All right, later.